Hi everyone, welcome to Single Value. So today we're going to look at Abcellera. This was a phenomenal result by Abcellera. The recent annual report for 2020 was just amazing. That I think it's hard not to love this company, and I really wanted to talk about this company when they released the result. Too bad time constraints just really got me on that one. But even at $30, I think it's still relatively good. Would have been better if at $23 if anyone of you guys brought at $23. But at $30, I think it is still really good, particularly for the long term. I think this company is just showing just brief glimpses of what the amazing potential it has going forward into the future. So let's just go through the basics. $30.71, giving a valuation of $8.27 billion. And in terms of biotech, $8 billion is relatively modest. I think this company has a tremendous future ahead of it. You only have to look at a company like Moderna. When I look at Moderna a while, like at least over a year ago before COVID became a thing, I kind of saw that potential in Moderna. I didn't know when it was going to be realized, but obviously COVID just really accelerated the valuation of Moderna. And I'm looking at Abcellera, and I'm seeing that same potential. I think this is even a better quality company because everything, it kind of partners with a lot of partners. It actually doesn't really just do everything itself. It actually takes the research position and then gets a lot of royalty payments over time. And I think that is probably the lowest risk position you could probably take in terms of research and development, in terms of the whole biotech industry, where these guys bring technology, and then basically any discoveries they make leads to massive royalty payments in the future, which we'll go through probably right now. I think no better time. So they just released their annual report on March the 29th, and it was just out of the park. Like total revenue $233 million, up 1,908%. Like that 8% definitely matters, but 1,900, wow. How many companies ever do that? And it's not exactly a small number either. And in total revenue for research fees was $20 million, which is still really good as well. 71% up year on prior year. And the amazing thing is this company has 103 programs in the works. Like, how many companies can you say has that many programs just ongoing all at once? It's the power of technology, and this company is using technology to its full advantage, and it's really showing in these financial results. Like, I think it takes time. Like, don't mistaken that these things don't take time. They take a lot of time. So the fact that they're starting to produce these results now is just a really good timing. That's probably why they decided to bring the company onto the market, because they knew this company was maturing, these revenues are on the way, and it would really help with the valuation of the company going forward. So if we just jump into the highlights, as you can see, $233 million in total revenue, and it includes $213 million in milestones and royalties. So those royalties matter so much, and the margins are phenomenal for royalties, because after you create something, you just sit there, receive money, because you don't really have any other capital costs related to that part, which is the beautiful part about royalties. If you watch Shark Tank, you know what I mean. Royalty payments are the dream for any company making anything, really. And then basically they generated $119 million in net earnings, and it's up from $2 million that they lost in 2019. So out of $233 million in revenue, $119 million was net earnings. So how incredible is that? Their margins are just out of the park. So basically any further increases in royalties that they get, it's really going to show up in the bottom line. And those profits are just going to look phenomenal over time, and I think it's going to show up in the valuation of the company going forward in the future. Though, as I probably mentioned in prior videos, when it comes to biotech, things aren't as predictable going forward as you would imagine. You don't just go like, oh, this year they grew 1,900% in their revenue, and next year that they might continue along that trajectory. It actually doesn't work out that way. It works out in a way that, hey, these royalty revenues can actually be very bumpy, very volatile. If you basically compare like a share price, that these payments only come in when basically their partner sells more products. So if their partner continues to sell more products, then they get more royalties. If their partner sells less, then their royalties can actually drop. So don't imagine this $233 million is, consistent. So like they could get that much today, they might get less than that in 12 months time, and then they could have another massive jump in 2 years time as well. So these things are really unpredictable in this line of business, but when it works out, it really works out, and I think that's what I want to make you aware of. And it's all down to these partnerships. So they've got 103 partnerships in the works, and basically when they do this work, they get research fees, which amounted to $20 million. And if it leads to a breakthrough, that's where they also get royalty payments in the future as well, when their partner also uses this research to create their products, and then they just pay them a royalty. And that's where those royalty payments are just absolutely phenomenal, and just really just leads to a massive net profit over time. So they've built out a massive cash position, $594 million. And then they've secured $126 million from the government of Canada for future infrastructure investments. And also they've acquired a company called Triani for $90 million. And then also a company called OrthoLab, which was something around $4 million, which has kind of led them to this partnership that was recently announced with Gilead to basically make more discoveries. As I put up here, it targets up to 8 new targets that they want to go for. And I think they're very smart with their acquisitions, and it really looks like it's working out, because immediately they're getting a partnership with Gilead. So if we jump into their discovery programs, 103 discovery programs, up 72%, up from 60 in 2019. So as time goes, you kind of expect them to continue to actually add more programs. It's kind of a wonder of how many actually could they add before they actually reach the limit. It's just phenomenal. Like, basically they had an antibody discovery with Eli Lilly, and basically that antibody discovery is leading to all these massive royalty payments. So as we see, like before 2020, they didn't actually have royalty payments, but in 2020 they got 198 million in royalty payments, 15 million in a milestone payment, and then they also got 19.8 million in research fees. So you can see it's kind of split between 3 categories, but royalty payments are the golden goose of this company. It's just looking very wonderful. They do themselves owe royalty payments as well, so they owe $27 million of royalty payments to the National Institute of Health. So people owe them royalty payments, they owe someone else royalty payments, but at the end of the day, they get the majority of it. And it's led to $233 million in total revenue, up from 11 million last year. So in 2019, they had no milestone payments, they had no royalty payments, but now they've got a ton of those. And I think that's still going to be running quite strongly, because Eli Lilly is focused on the COVID vaccine, and they use that antibody to help out. So I think COVID isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Eli Lilly's products are going to continue to be used for many years to come, and I think Abcellera is going to be receiving quite a lot of royalty payments over that time as well. And in the meantime, they're also going to be advancing a lot of other projects, which are probably going to bring a lot of royalty payments to this company over time. And I think, out of 103 programs in the works, only a few of them really have to work out in a big way. And as you've seen, with just one antibody discovery just working in their favor, it's already led to $198 million in royalty revenue, plus a 15 actually. It's all linked actually, so well over 200 million in royalty payments, which is incredible. And they just have to make more discoveries, which will probably happen over time. And since they're an AI platform, they just literally just get better as they go. So yeah, I'm just in awe of this company that, hey, they've just literally managed to use technology to just make some breakthrough results. Not only is it a great outcome for humanity in general, it's a great outcome for your shareholders as well. And yeah, I think in the long-term future, this company is just going to be worth so much because it's doing things that no one else is really doing. Hence why all the big companies are partnering up with these guys. Like, there's companies with more money than them, bigger market valuations, yet they partner up with Abcellera because they're just so advanced in the way they use technology that it's, yeah, like other companies just don't have that time. They haven't spent that money trying to develop these things. If you want an equivalent, it's like, think about Palantir. What Palantir does for data analytics on a security basis. And now you think about Abcellera. Abcellera is literally like a Palantir for, biotechs. And it's, yeah, like it's so unique. And it's kind of one of those things, like one of the people that, help, is quite central to this company is Peter Thiel. He's helped bring this company along forward. He's also on their board. And he kind of sees that future that he also saw with Palantir. And yeah, I think you're in the same boat, that what these companies do is so unique that you've got such a strong moat that they just have to continue to execute. And yeah, I think the revenue takes care of itself. The share price will take care of itself in the future. Probably wasn't that fun if you brought like a while back ago, like when they came on an IPO. They have slid down from like $60 to like $30. So not that fun if you had to take that roller coaster down. But I guarantee you it'll be fun when you take the roller coaster up. But you just have to be really, really patient with this company. These things aren't predictable at the end of the day. Hence why I kind of stay away from biotechs for quite a bit, because it's just not as predictable. But I think out of many biotechs, like Abcellera is very unique in its proposition. And if you hold in the long run, I think you'll do well. The share price will do well. $8 billion is actually quite small in the scheme of things of what they could achieve in the future. So yeah, I think this is a company that if it gets cheaper, you just buy more of it, to be honest, and just wait for when they continue to achieve great results. And yeah, I think the share price will look very, very, very nice in the future. I've got no price target for you, to be honest, because again, I can't predict these things, but especially not for a biotech, because it's just not straightforward sometimes. Like, if I knew when they had certain products coming out, certain growth rates, then I could make these predictions. But I don't think anyone really in their right mind can just predict where this company will go in terms of evaluation. I think it's definitely worth more than $30. I think the upside is quite large. But again, you just have to be really patient if you already own these shares or you're thinking about owning these shares. That's just my opinion anyway. If you've got any comments, questions, post below. Until then, good luck investing, everyone.